Hello, my name is Samir, the crew member of Self-Study, and today I am going to tell you a story named God Lives in the Panch, which written by Munshi Premchand. So without wasted any time, let's get started. God Lives in the Panch by Munshi Premchand. Jumman Sheikh and Algu Chowdhury were two fast friends and the leading character of the story. Besides tilling their fields, they carried on a joint money-lending business. When either of them was absent, other looked after his household and other affairs. Jumman Sheikh was highly esteemed in the village and neighborhood for his scholarship and attained. Jumman had an old relation, a maternal aunt, who had some property. This she had transferred to him by a deed on understanding that she would be looked after. So long as deed remained unregistered, her every wish was anticipated and carefully carried out. Now let's see, did Jumman take care of her aunt, whether he looked after her or not.
Jumman, that old lady is disturbing us. I don't have much food for her, not have much time to take care of her. She is doing nothing, wasting huge space in this house. How long is the old hag going to live? By giving us a few acres of wasteland, she thinks she was bought us. Now I want you to talk to her.
As you see, now everything has changed the moment the deed was registered. Jumman, who used to wait dotingly on his old aunt, now became supremely indifferent. His wife, Carmen, went even further. She grudged even the little food that the old lady ate. No meal was now served to her. Patience has its limits. One day, unable to bear this constant nagging and insult from Carmen, the aunt spoke to Jumman.
Jumman, my son, I want to talk to you. I can't handle this every day. I am tired of daily humiliation.
No, but I don't want to talk to you. I am not interfering in these household affairs. In fact, my wife knows better how to run this house.
My son, it is clear there is no room for me in your house. You had better give me a small allowance so that I can set up a separate kitchen.
Does money grow on trees?
Of course not, but how am I to live?
Who said that you have concurred that?
Okay, if you don't want to talk, I take this case to Panchayat.
This conversation with Jumman exasperated the aunt. She threatened to take her case before the Panchayat. But nothing could please Jumman better. He knew that the Panchayat could give one decision and one only. Was there anyone in the village whom he had not obliged? Was there anyone who dared to incur his displeasure? Surely, the members of the Panchayat would be his friends, and not angels from heaven. So, when the old lady threatened to take her case to the Panchayat, Jumman laughed within himself.
4 days after this incident. Son, can you fight a case for me?
No, please go away.
Listen to me once, son.
Can't do anything for you. I request you please go away. Only God can help you. Pray Him. Jumman's maternal aunt is a significant character of the story. She is an unnamed character. Through her physical appearance we came to know that she is an old lady, with white hairs, toothless mouth and body bent as a bow. She is so firm in her decision that she goes about from one villager to another to tell her pitiable story. The villagers laughed at her and make fun of her old physical appearance. The old aunt has strong faith in Panchayat. She goes to Algu for help. She knows that both Jumman and Algu are fast friends, but she has a good faith in power of God and truth.
I have come to you, my son, to ask you to attend the Panchayat when the matter comes up.
But is there any need for me to do this? Surely, there will be many who will attend it.
Son, I went to all of them but no one is ready to help me.
Since you insist me, I will come. But you will have to excuse me if I don't take any part in the proceedings.
Why so, my son?
Because you know, Jumman is my old friend. I can ill afford to go against him.
But is it right, my son, that for his sake you should keep your mouth shut and not say what you feel, what you consider just?
So it happened with Algu. He did not reply, but the word or the old lady kept ringing in his ears.
In the evening.
The Panchayat was scheduled to be held in the evening under the village tug. Jumman saw to all the arrangements. A carpet was spread, and a good supply of pad, ilaichi, and hookahs was provided. As the guests began to arrive one by one, they were welcomed by Inman, who had taken his seat with Algu and a far-comer. As the sun set, the proceedings of the Panchayat started. Overhead on the tree another Panchayat was going on. The birds were holding their evening meeting. Now when all gathered, after asking both parties, Algu Chowdhury is nominated as the head Panch.
Proceedings started, maternal aunt. Members of the Panchayat, that 3 years ago I executed a deed in favor of my nephew, Jumman, transferring all my property to him. Jumman on his part promised to maintain me. For a long time I have been subjected to abuse, insult and nagging from his wife without any check from Jumman. Things have now come to such a pass that it is no longer possible for me to live with him. I am denied food and clothes. I am a helpless widow, too poor to run to the courts for redress. All I can do is to appeal to you for justice. Please advise me what to do. Punish me if I am in the wrong, but if you find fault with Jumman, correct him. I seriously assure you that I shall faithfully carry out your orders. Jumman Sheikh.
Before you started, Jumman, I want to tell you something. You and I are old friends. Whenever any of us was in trouble, other came to his help. Now I am a Panch. You and your rant are equal in my eyes. If you have anything to say in your defense, say it. Members of Panchayat, you know that 3 years ago she transfers her property to me. At that time I promised her to take care of her and obey her. God is my witness, I obeyed her, take care of her, as my mother, as it's my duty to serve her. But really I can't hide this fact that there are some quarrels between her and my wife. Women's were always like that. Only this much is mentioned in the deed. That's all I have to say on this matter. Now both parties had given clear arguments. When Algu told Jumman that now he is taking the responsibility of Panch by fair means, Jumman thinks that he pretends to be fair. But he got shocked when the results came up. Now let's see what decision had made by Algu that shocked Jumman. Decision time. Jumman Sheikh. The members of the Panchayat have gone into the matter most carefully. It is their considered opinion that you are liable to pay to your aunt a fixed monthly allowance out of the realization from her property. If you do not comply with this decision, the deed transferring her property to you will be deemed void. Jumman was stunned. The words fall on his ears like a thunderbolt. He could not understand. The friend on whom he relied so much had suddenly turned into a bitter foe. No doubt Algu gave fair decision. He separated milk from water, but the strong roots of the tree of friendship were shaken. Now it's the situation that the two friends now avoided meeting each other, and if they ever met by chance, it was like a sword meeting the shield. Interval. Some days later. Algu has a pair of bullocks, which he recently bought from the animal fair, but due ill luck one of the bullock died. This makes Algu Chowdhury thinks to sell his bullock. And on the other side, there lived in the village one Panch, a cartman, who carried on his business between the village and the town. He used to take the village commodities to town, and bought ready-made things from there. He thought to himself that if he could get Algu's bullock, he would be able to make at least 3 or 4 trips daily to the town and back and thus increase its profit. At present all he could do was to make 1 or 2 trips to the town market. So he purchased the bullock and promised him to pay after a month. Hoping to multiply his income several times, and finding the bullock strong and hefty, Panch began to overwork it. 3 trips to the town were now his daily routine, and sometimes even 4. The bullock was hardly allowed to rest, or to take its full feed. In a month, the poor bullock was reduced to a skeleton. It could hardly drag the cart. When it failed to do so, or its speed slowed down, a shower of whips invariably descended on its aching limbs. Panch treated the poor animal so badly that it died, several months after the bullock's death. Now it's time to take my money back, I have to remind Samju about the bullock's price and take the whole price of it. I am here to take my payment back. Don't you remember your promise to give the payment a month later? Now the several months passed. The bullock died, but still the payment is not received. Today I don't know, but I can't go without my money.
We are true Banias, who know what is what. First, go in and wash your dirty face in ditch water, and then come to us for payment. After all, we did not use your bullock for more than a month, and if you must insist on your claims, take away our bullock. But one thing I want to clear, in any case I can't pay you for that bullock.
Slowly, this news spread in the whole village. All the people whom Algu displeased were now supporting Samju. But Algu could ill afford to forget it. Though insulted and abused again and again by Sahyu whenever he approached him, he did not give up his claim. And later they both decided to take this matter to Panchayat. This time itself, the setting was same as for the first Panchayat. When the Panchayat assembled, as before, nomination were invited for head Panch. Algu, if you have any particular man in view for head Panch? No, let Samju propose.
Yes, I nominate Sheikh Jumman.
Samju Sahyu proposed the name of Jumman, as he knows that Jumman was having feeling of revenge himself on Algu for his condition. At the suggestion of Jumman's name, Algu's heart began to sink. His face became pale. But he can't do anything, as he himself asked Sahyu to propose the name. After the proceedings, decision time. Algu and Sahyu now stated their respective cases. After hearing the parties, the Panchs came to the unanimous decision that Sahyu should compensate Algu. The only issue on which they differed was whether Algu was entitled to the full price of bullock, or whether, taking into consideration the loss suffered by Sahyu, there should be any reduction in the price. 2 were for the former and 2 for the latter. Viewpoint was also pressed that Sahyu had been guilty of treating the bullock cruelly and causing its death. He should, therefore, not merely pay its price to Algu, but, in addition, he should be fined, so that in future no one would dare ill-treat the cattle. Addressing to you both, I would like to add, Algu Chowdhury and Samju Sahyu, the Panchs have heard and considered the issues carefully. It is their decision that Algu is entitled to the full price of the bullock, for at the time when he sold it, it suffered from no disease or disability. If Samju had then paid the price, the issue now before the Panchayat would not have arisen at all. The death of the bullock was caused by overwork. So at last I would say, Samju Sahyu feels guilty, and Algu Chowdhury won this case. Victory to the Panchayat. Victory to the Panchayat. Yes, it's really the power of truth, everybody. Victory to the Panchayat. Victory to the Panchayat. This is what justice means. This is surely not man's doing. God lives in the heart of Panchs, and direct their thoughts. How then could Panchs ever be decided? Since the last Panchayat, I had been your sworn enemy. Today I realize what it is to be a Panch. That he has no private feelings of his own, that he knows neither friend nor foe. All that matters to him is to administer justice. I am convinced now that the Panch speaks with the voice of God. This is the end of the story. Thank you. Keep watching, keep sharing, and don't forget to subscribe. Self-study for new videos.